What up, everybody? Welcome to the Unfiltered Truth. I'm your host, Phil Robinson. With me, as always, my co-pilot, Phil Jones. Phil, what's going on, brother?
Doing good, Joe. Doing good.
Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas.
Did we? We did. But then there's some folks that didn't have one. So, hey, it is what it is. As I always tell the fan base, don't let this team ruin your thunder.
Your joy. The time with your family. But the elephant in the room, the big topic today is Josh McDaniels throwing Carr under the bus. What is the future going to hold for the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders? What's going to happen moving forward? All that and more on today's episode of The Unfiltered Truth. Let's start the show. And we're back. See, score. We got Dub C. Merry Christmas. Same to you. Raider Q. What's
Holiday. Hey, Raider time. Anthony, what's up?
Well, train. There's a new chapter. Honestly, just excited for a change. And we're not quite there yet, but the train is definitely rolling in that direction. Definitely rolling in that direction. So the topic of conversation today is some of the questioning the answers that Josh McDaniels gave in his press conference today. And a lot of it was unflattering about the passing game and the play of Derek Carr. And there's some inferences that you can take from it. But before we get into all of that, I'll read what it is. Question: over the last 4 games, Derek Carr's completion percentage is 55% or below, and he's got 9 interceptions over his last 5 games. Anything that you can put your finger on why it's going in that direction? McDaniels: yeah, there's a lot of reasons, obviously, for that. It's never on one person. That's our responsibility, my responsibility. At the end of the day, the passing game and the production of the passing game usually has a lot to do with how we protect, the routes we run, the ability to read the coverage together, throwing and catching. There's a lot that goes into that. I know that statistic gets applied to just one person, but certainly there's other factors. So, look, that's not good enough. And for us to be able to win at this time of the year and be productive, offensively, you have to throw the ball better than what we've thrown at times here in the last month and a half. We've been able to win some in spite of that overall, but clearly that's not the goal. The goal would be to be more productive than what we've been. The next question. Go ahead.
So basically, in the beginning, he was trying to smooth it, and then he just basically just said, "You know what? Fuck it." Yeah, back it on up, Larry.
Was it funny or was it the truth? The truth of the matter.
It was a fact. It's both. I threw your ass under the bus, but I'm also telling the truth. Yes, he was right in the beginning, but on that last part, throwing in the second half in the last month and a half has been terrible. Terrible.
I've seen a zero against the Rams, which is we've never seen before. last week, I believe, was in the 20s or 30s for the QB in terms of QB rating in the second half. And this week, I sent this out. I'll read this stat to you guys so that we can have it all out there in Front Street. And this is interesting. So in the second, this is Carr's ratings by the quarter in the game against the Steelers. In the first quarter, he was 6 of 8 for 61 yards, a touchdown, and 135.9 QB rating. Obviously, the majority of that was the first drive they took straight down the field and scored. In quarter number 2, he was 3 of 9 for 55 yards and a 55.3 rating. In the third quarter, he was 5 of 8 for 41 yards with 2 interceptions and a 35.9 rating. And to finish the game in the fourth quarter, he was 2 of 5 for 17 yards, 1 interception, and a 10 rating.
Sounds about right.
So when you see those 2 of 5s and those 3 of 9s, understand that's 3 series of 3 and outs. That's 2 series of 3 and outs.
And they're costly.
And the 3 and outs are quick transitions for a tired defense that's been on the field all game long, all half long, to continue to get right back out there and have to play more minutes. And this is the NFL. Yeah. The defense has played much better than a lot of people want to give him credit for. And Patrick Graham is doing the best he can with a group of guys that were not his first choice to be where they were at for the most part. He lost Denzel Perriman maybe for the remainder of the year.
Same with Jones.
And was Chandler Jones. So we had on in terms of starting linebackers, they're all on IR.
Yeah.
How long has it been since we've seen Rock Ya-Sin? Almost a month now. 4 games. No Anthony Averett. He's on IR. Rock Ya-Sin's been down for a month. You just got Nate Hobbs back off of IR 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Matter of fact, you just got Andrew Billings back, last week? Yeah. Andrew Billings played Saturday.
Man, that's probably why they look better against the run.
Yeah.
That's probably exactly why they look better against the run.
I'm going to give you the last, these last games in December. It's what, 5 games so far? 5 or 6 games?
3, but yeah.
No, I'm saying in December.
No, there's only 4 weeks in the month, player. How you gonna have 5-6 games?
No. You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking about the last game in what do you call it?
July,
November.
Or November. Blessings to you, Flamingo. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you.
Jesus Christ, man.
Now,
the tea got spilled. Everybody just said, you know what? F it. I'm going to say it with my chest. I don't care. It needs to be said. I'm tired of the same bullshit narrative. And Josh Jacobs did that shit on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, we talking about McDaniels being thrown under the bus. But in all honesty, it's the shit that Josh Jacobs said that holds more than anything.
Yep.
It's bullshit. It's on us. everybody wants to talk about the defense, but they made their stops when they're supposed to. We have to help them out. And I'm tired of saying that. So that goes back to, we're looking at what? Week 2. You're looking back at the Tennessee game, the KC game, the Jaguars game.
Arizona game. We started with Arizona.
To be honest, what was the score of that Saints game? What was it?
Game, 24-0. The fact that they couldn't cross midfield until Stidham came in. It took them straight down the field. Same starting defense trying to preserve their shutout. Somebody tried to tell me that they had taken the starters out. No, they did not. I went back and checked.
Yeah.
And took them straight down the field. I retweeted the interception to Hunter, and while what you said about Josh Jacobs is absolutely true, Phil. But if you go back and look at Hunter Renfrow, when they interviewed Hunter Renfrow was gracious in defeat, said all the right things about a Steeler defense that he spent 60 minutes torching their ass all over the field. And why was he being humble and keeping it? Because his quarterback failed to deliver him a catchable pass when he was wide the fuck open. And if you go back and you look at the mechanics of that throw, you got 1 foot on the ground with pointing out hip. He threw the ball where his hips were pointing. That is why that's significant. He threw that ball exactly where his hips were pointing, and that cost them the game because of his sloppy footwork and mechanics.
I just got to play this one. This was music to my ears because everybody's so eager to jump and say it's McDaniels. But Phil, to be honest, this damn sure didn't sound like he was coming at McDaniels.
Nope. Not at all.
You keep talking about sort of the same things and learning the same lessons.
Man, I'm tired of dealing with this shit. Like, every day I come here and bust my ass. I see the guys, bust their ass, and and the result is not there. And for me, the last 4 years, the result hasn't been there. And quite frankly, I don't know what else to do. So yeah, that shit is what it is.
I guess.
So I'm hearing this from him. It clearly that is not your coach from this year.
Nope.
It's not coming. Oh man, Malcolm, we're gonna get to that. But it's not coming from Josh McDaniels. He's saying, I've been dealing with this shit for 4 fucking years.
Yep. 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You say, what's wrong with DC? DC peaked. That's what happened. And then John Gruden thought he could retool him.
And he did.
Yeah. He did for a moment.
But eventually what happened is that DC is who DC is. DC does what DC does. And he was unable to overcome that. All of the things that we've said over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, using your feet more, running when you have the opportunity, looking to your left, the throwing mechanics, throwing the spike it, killing gophers on 4th down on the goal line as if you have another play to burn. All of the things that we've said take a toll when you look at the grand scheme of things. You look at the stats, and the stats look great. Stats are misleading. Stats lie all the time. For every good stat that you have about him, I can show you a bad one. For every bad one that I have, somebody else has great stats. Somebody else thinks that what he's doing is just great, and if you just give him a little bit more help, he'd be all right. He's had 7 Pro Bowlers. Didn't make the playoff, didn't sniff the playoffs the year after they all went to the Pro Bowl. Same team ran it back.
And that's crazy, you know? Everybody makes it but him. But I keep getting told that this guy is elite, this guy is a top 10 quarterback and shit, and you can't make the fucking Pro Bowl. I'm going to tell you how bad it is. Bruh, fucking Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley made the Pro Bowl over Derek Carr.
The Ravens' backup. The 60.8 completion percentage that he has so far is, 29th out of 32 in the league?
Yeah.
This is from your accurate quarterback in a dink and dunk offense that's supposed to be a high percentage passing attack. The majority of the open receivers in this offense end up being in between 5 to 15 yards in between the hashes directly in front of them.
You can put it on me, brother.
You have the number 1 running back in the National Football League. Prior to the last 3 weeks when he ceased to get the football, what was he, 9 of 25, or got 9 completions for 25 yards, 114 yards, and no touchdowns over the last 3 weeks. Devontae Adams, prior to that, he was the number 1 receiving touchdown receiver in the league. Number 1. That's the number 1 receiver, number 1 running back. The offensive line is ranked 12th in pass protection. That's above middle of the pack for a line that everybody said was so terrible and needed to be improved. And oh my God, how could they have not done anything to the line, because they're the 12th best pass protection line in the league. Josh Jacobs is over 200 something carries, with the exception of this game, was averaging 5 yards a carry. It is what it is. It is what it is. And it's not the play calls, because we can all sit here, we can all attest, and we can all agree that we have seen wide open guys.
Hold on, Phil. Okay, hold on. I gotta stop you there. Because I'm looking at these comments. I gotta stop you. I'm sorry. I keep hearing it's the scheme. It ain't the fucking scheme. And I'm gonna cuss right now, because a lot of you guys want to jump and use this narrative as, oh, it's the scheme. It's the scheme. No, the fuck it ain't. It's something that he's actually fucking been in. He's been in this kind of offense before.
The Earhart Perkins scheme is exactly what Bill Musgrave ran when he was supposedly making himself the legend that he is in 2016. This is the exact same scheme.
You want to know why? You want to know why he's looking like ass? They're not letting him run script after script after script after script. Like how Musgraves had him do it. Like how Gruden and Olsen had him do it. He's not going to run that same old excuse. Well, they're going to give me a script to pull me out of this shit. No. See, I'm going to be fucking blunt. I'm going to be blunt with it. I'm not missing the scheme thought, because I know what the fuck going on. The problem is he's not getting bailed out like they normally would bail him out. If you're supposed to be this top quarterback that's been able to do this, been able to do that, hey, I need to see it. If you can go out there and say, well, you know, I've had all these comeback from behind wins, you know, game tying, game winning. Okay, where is it at? Because if you look at every fucking game he's been in a handful of those situations and didn't get it done. It's not the offense. It's not really, it's not even the O-line, because the O-line is able to push and drive downfield and open up holes for Josh Jacobs, give Derek Carr time. As I recall next gen stats, he's getting 2.5 plus in the pocket. It's not where Josh McDaniels wants him to go to. He's not looking. Malcolm, if you take your time and look online, look at a video, what does Derek Carr do? Does he look and survey the entire field? Yes or no? Give me that answer right now. It is not, I want you to throw to this guy, because that's a bunch of horse shit. It is. Whoever has created that narrative of saying that he's going to just one guy, that's bullshit. He doesn't look. Never has and never will. You have to beat it out of him. It's like beating a dead horse. You got to hold him at gunpoint just to get him to do it.
And to be exact on your claim, Derek Carr is currently 9th in time to throw according to Next Gen Stats with 2.93 seconds.
Oh, it went up to 2.93? Oh.
It's been up there, actually.
They had it at 2. I think it was what?
Down. It was a couple weeks
ago. You're right. No, you're actually right. I'm looking at it. I'm seeing it.
But his guys have been hurt. They've gotten hurt up front, so it hasn't been the guys that they finally got around to locking in as the starting five. But
and shit, he won. Look, technically speaking, you won a game with not even having 2 of your guards last week.
So now let's talk about this, because I tweeted about this when it happened. We are closing our eyes and letting Jesus take the wheel as we throw into double and triple coverage to Darren Waller, because YOLO, when you have, and he's coming down one hash, which is fine, see, perfectly good. Hunter Renfrow is on the other hash by himself, running the same route. And instead of throwing it to Waller, instead of throwing it to Renfrow, who's open, we throw it to Waller, who's triple covered.
Here, I'm gonna give you a better way to help explain that too. Derek Carr trying to do a running start and throwing the football on a deep ball, so you're not going to be accurate.
It's what's been working so far.
Hey, that's what you call a YOLO ball.
It's a YOLO ball, but when you look, if you go from that versus standing flat and delivering a ball, I'd take it moving forward before I have him standing at the top of a drop.
Flamingo, thank you. It's terrible fucking mechanics.
Awful.
And it goes back to what I've said over the years. That back never recovered to 100%.
No, I didn't. And honest and truthfully, it's been reflective in his play for years and how he's gone through progressions, his pre-snap designations. Whenever he moves to his left, it was a plan to begin with.
So I'm always hearing, and our boy Scott, he said something really good last night. This whole narrative of, okay, so who are you going to replace him with? That's not a strong argument at all. You have to learn to take the leap forward and try to have a future. But if you're too scared, you're not going to move forward. I mean, that's a common sense. That's common sense within life. If you're scared to move forward and scared for change,
you will fall behind.
You're not going to succeed in life. You won't. This team needs to succeed, so they need to move on and start new. Everybody thinks, well, look at all the quarterbacks we had over the years. Did we have a front office during those times? Did we have the right kind of salary cap during those times? You're not going to succeed during those times. So when you think about that, and now you think about now that you finally have a front office up to date with the 21st century, you got a scouting department, you got a general manager, team president, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You got all that shit. You have all the tools you need. You can go off and do what you please. This is not an Al Davis ran organization. And people need to understand that.
Not only that, but to further this point about about who's going to be better than Derek Carr. Derek Carr's 66.8 passer rating in December is the worst in the NFL this month for any quarterback with a start. So when you ask who is going to be better, let me repeat that again for those in the back. When you ask who is better than Derek Carr, who's going to replace Derek Carr? Derek Carr's 66.8 passer rating for the month of December is the worst in the NFL this month for any QB with the start this month, which includes Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has played better quarterback than Derek Carr.
Like I said on what was it? Christmas Day. In the month of December, 63 of 118, 792, 792 yards. You had 55 incompletions, 6 touchdowns, and 7 picks.
2 pick sixes.
I see. Like I could have went for. I could have went for. Just keep going and going. But I mean, that's enough to just say, damn. I mean, yeah, we can say that well, we need this, we need that. But how many years have you been saying that, Malcolm? How many years everybody keeps saying that? The one thing that has not changed.
Hold on. Your defense has given up less than 20 points in the last 2 weeks. Or excuse me, they had the Patriots where they gave up 24. The Rams game was where they gave up less than 20. But your defense lost the game having allowed 1 touchdown being scored and 2 field goals. With the backups, with the bottom of Patrick Graham's bench, your defense gave up 13 points and lost the game.
Guess where the defense is ranked?
19th.
22nd.
No, that's with the point total. That
with the points and all. Okay, hold on. Yeah, it's 19 down.
Yeah. When you look at the amount of points the defense by itself has surrendered, it's 19th, averaging 22.4 points a game. Second in the AFC West. The only defense in the AFC West that's better than the Raiders' defense right now is Denver's in terms of points per game. If
that game,
City's defense, they're worse. Okay, the Chargers, for all that money they spend on all Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Derwin, it's worse.
Yeah.
So It's not your defense. It's not your line. It's not your running game. It's not your receiver. We're running out of places to play. It's not the play calling because we can see guys running free. And now your captains are finally leading and stepping forward and calling the people who need to be held accountable.
Come to think about it, how many 30-point games have we had the defense given up this year?
One.
Two. KC and Seattle. That's it.
Yeah.
And everything else has been either 24, majority about 24, 16. Yeah, right. I mean, you got a 27, then you got a 29. But other than that, if you can't cross that damn 50-yard line, what you going to say then?
Because I watched Jarrett Stidham come in one drive, taking 70 yards down the field, and the only reason he didn't score was because he had his own particular brain fart in clock management. But his coaches are much better at it, so it is what it is.
You didn't cross the 50-yard line
not the
once
for 4 quarters, all the way to the last drive.
Again, your leader on the offense ain't cutting.
For those of you who want to fire the coach again, let me break this down to you. We are now talking about the 6th guy who's walked out as the coach of the Raiders while Derek Carr has still remained the quarterback. 6. In 9 years, with 6 guys, only 2 guys have managed to get to the playoffs. Really, 1 with Derek Carr. And in that year, he got to the playoffs with Derek Carr. He had 6 other Pro Bowlers around him.
Yeah.
You want to know what it is. There comes a time, and it is what it is. I don't have any ill will towards this man. I wish this man the best. Whatever it is that he chooses to do. But
remember that little quote he had? I love the man, but hate the sin. I love the man, but hate
the play.
I hate the player. That's where I'm at.
It is what it is. When you have to, I also tweeted this as well, and it really comes down to this. You got to ask yourself, how long are you going to continue to defend the indefensible? How long, how many games do you need to lose before you decide that rather than saying, you know what, it's okay that we lost, all we need is something else to go with this and we should be better, before you understand that 500 is NFL purgatory. If the Raiders win the rest of their games, they'll finish 8-9 this year. They won't even be 500.
Yeah.
When you'll be just out of reach to get a difference maker in the draft, and nowhere close enough to be good enough to be a champion. And that's where we've been stuck pretty much for the last 4 years.
I ain't got nothing else to say. I mean, shit, you got the Niners this week, New Year's Day. What you expect?
Hopefully they have a great night, great New Year's Eve out in Vegas, and fail to make it to the stadium on Sunday morning. But KB's got here. Derek Carr got Devontae, a career year from Josh Jacobs, and then decided to have the worst statistical year of his career. and an offense that he thrived in when he was at his quote unquote best. Now, here we go. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Now, Flamingo, this was brought up as well, and I held off on this one. But the fact of the matter is that there is an injury guarantee in Carr's contract, and if he were to become injured in these last two games, the Raiders would be fully on the hook for his $33 million salary for 2023. It now, if moving on is in fact what they plan to do, it now becomes in the Raiders' best financial decision, by best financial interest rather, to sit him and play Jarrett Stidham. Because there is the out in his contract, which we all will be painfully aware of as this gets closer and closer. It's going to be on TV a bunch. Please believe, radio a bunch. People are going to be writing about it a bunch, because this is now the swan song. But like I said, this is where we're at. Said we're come one way or another. It's more likely than not that we are coming down to the end of the road. Now, I've said this a lot, but it appears that the coaching staff and regime, who have a championship pedigree and know what it takes to get to the mountaintop and stay there, have determined that this is not going to cut it.
Laughing my ass off. This is funny.
But it's early in the week. You got anything else for him, Jones?
What can I say? Somebody putting this man's career stats like their elite stats up. That is fucking hilarious. Seriously.
Focus in on the win-loss record. This is not Archie Manning back.
Your win-loss record? For this season or for him?
If we're gonna post career stats, you got to go with the career numbers, the career wins and loss, the career winning.
Don't let me hurt this boy's feelings.
His commitment to excellence is all about
don't let me hurt this man's feelings.
Just win, baby. Go ahead and lay on that win-loss record, because it's just win, baby.
You sure you ready for that? Because guess what?
If he dies, he dies.
He's about to have 80 losses.
80 losses.
The one that people look at as their Lord and Savior is 63 and 79. 63 and 79. And you may jump up and say, well, it's a team. Now, if it's a team sport, I get that. But at the end of the day, you're the quarterback. You're leading the offense downfield. And you're supposed to be scoring touchdowns, but you're not scoring touchdowns, sir. You couldn't even beat a depleted Rams team. You couldn't beat. You couldn't even throw accurate to a wide open target.
Short, long, intermediate, inside the hashes, out by the sidelines, did not matter.
How many winning seasons have you had? 2. Way too much credit and way too much blame. Shit. I think people got high off that 28 comeback and 33 game winning drives. That's the problem. Come to think about it, why are we always dealing? You want to know why they didn't pull his ass? Oh, God, don't let me get into this whole argument again. For starters, you're trying to prove a point. And I'm just going to say it. McDaniels and Ziegler, they were the puppet masters in this. And they were planning to just stab Carr in the back like Caesar. That was the whole idea. Put him out there. Show everybody that this guy is elite. Because as we recalled, during the presser when they were being introduced, didn't somebody say, well, you know, he's an elite quarterback? If you look at Ziegler and you look at McDaniels, they looked at him like, nigga, what? Nigga, what you just say? What? What? And the funny thing is everybody, and I'm going to tell you this with the whole contract, that contract was old. They just said, take it or leave it. Take the contract or leave.
That was the same.
He took the contract.
Back in what, April, May?
He wanted to bet on himself that, oh, I can do this. I got this. I can do it. Where in reality, I want you guys to look up Dan Graziano's tweet about Derek Carr and that contract, because he was losing his fucking mind on why the hell he took that fucking contract. That contract does not protect you. He saw it. I saw it. Ray Charles saw it. Stevie Wonder saw it. Everybody saw it.
Except for those who choose not to. All that those who didn't want to see saw was they in turn saw the no trade clause, so that Derek couldn't be sent to anywhere that he didn't want to go. So he was going to be a Raider no matter what. Only
matter of fact, I'm about to pull that shit up, bro.
Pull it up if you want to.
Cause that fucking tweet, that tweet holds merit now. Cause you're gonna go back and think about it like,
Now I don't know what sandbagging his way out. You have to explain that. I don't believe that was said at all. Yes, sir. Happy holidays to you and yours as well.
God damn, he was carrying this nigga. He was carrying him back in 2020. I think he should think about holding the ball a little longer. Damn. Here we go.
It's the truth.
If the Derek Carr deal if he agreed to less than a month after the Watson deal isn't 100% guaranteed, then it's going to be impossible for anyone to explain to me why he would sign it.
Oh, it is. I can explain it to you. Because it was a take it or leave it, and ultimately it came down to the no trade clause. He felt as though that as long as he got the no trade clause, he could control where it was that his career ended, and he would be able to go out on his own terms, is what I would naturally assume. the length of the deal was going to carry him all the way up to 35, and which is when he had stated he wanted to be able to walk away anyway. And the fact that you're planning your exit strategy at 31, it really goes back to, and you could give it your all this season if you want to, but you're planning to walk away. You got your investment level isn't where it was.
But you got to go back to this tweet because Graziano was hitting on some shit. He was saying it starts with the quarterback. They have the most leverage. Because somebody was trying to say, well, look at Max's contract. Nah. Carr had leverage if he used it. But he knew if he kept pushing, he wouldn't have got it. And everybody say, oh, yeah, he's trying to make it flexible for the salary cap. Yeah, I get it. Good for him. But it's not the player's job to manage the team's cap. And I'm always surprised when a player doesn't realize that shit. And that's the same with me. Taking a team-friendly deal when you're not covering your ass, you're not covering yourself. And he didn't with his contract.
No, he did not.
One sec. Matter of fact, I thought I did. Lydell, go look at my last retweet. It was funny because this shit happened on my motherfucking birthday. Other than that, Phil, you got anything to say?
I'm good. I think we've said it all, at least for where we are right now. There's more to come. Obviously, things can change. But what's really telling is that some of the key components for everyone who's called Vinny a shill and all the things that you had to say about the reporting that he does, Vinny is coming out, and the statements that he's making are authorized. Remember that.
Yeah, when you hear it coming out of Vinny's mouth like that, I'm gonna be real. That man, it was a lot of stumbling under his voice when he was saying it. Like he was trying to make it in the most not trying to hurt anybody's feelings kind of manner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got in his position. I hate to, I'm not gonna say it. He did it the best way he could.
Yeah.
Because he's been in Derek's corner for a minute. Now, if you hearing Vinny saying this shit in Derek's corner for a minute, that's when you raise your eyebrows. So,
absolutely. Whoop! Scared you. Anything else, Phil?
Nope. If we don't hear from you, happy holidays and happy New Year. Hopefully 2023 brings us something better, some joy, some change.
Definitely, but it ain't over yet. We still got a couple more weeks to go. So we're going to continue to follow this all week long, see what's going on, really get a test to see what happens, which direction they choose to go. This is probably going to be the most publicized storyline of the offseason. So it is what it is. But he's Jones. I'm Robinson. This is the Unfiltered Truth. Please like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Help spread it. We out.